This is Tech Talk Today, episode 265. "22.5 hours of driving, 1,204 miles, and we find ourselves parked in a KOA in Pomona, California. Scale starts tomorrow, but before we go there, let's go back in time. RV time specifically, which we've learned runs a bit slower than the rest of the world. Tuesday started out quiet and early. A quiet and early start. Started driving before the sunrise, just a bit before 6 a.m., and just got done driving around Mount Shasta through the town of Weed. This place is really gorgeous. But the energy picked up mid-morning. This is the perfect driving weather. It's not too hot, it's not stormy. Easy on the engine. I'm all about it. Perfect driving music, perfect driving weather. I'm all about it. Perfect girlfriend. I'm all about it. Perfect Levi. I'm all about it. The goal was to move quick, find a campsite, and get booked.
All right, I have you going into site number 8, which is a 50 amp full hookup. This is where we are. And have you just swing around over here.
Okay,
and
going
you're
that
right
way.
there.
Okay, great.
Wi-Fi login. Checkout time is by noon tomorrow.
We'll be out before you even wake up, probably.
The spot served us well. I got some podcasting done, and we got to meet up with an old friend.
Well, hey, man, how's it going? Come on in. Hello, hello. You got it. Just messing around with my gear. Idea's out walking.
That's Jeff. He helped us out with the power for Lady Jupes a few months back, and we've been looking forward to meeting up again. We also invited Daniel Foray from Elementary OS over.
How the hell are you, Dan?
I'm doing great.
Yeah? So you live nearby?
Which turned out to be a good call because Dan knew just where to go.
You've been to Burgers and Brew before?
Burgers and Brew.
I saw
Does that not sound optimal?
Yes. And they have outdoor seating for dogs too, right?
We all loaded up into Jeff's car, including Levi. And once we got settled in, Mr. Foray finds the perfect beer.
What'd you find?
Get this Algas Curio.
You went looking for that.
I did.
Why is that?
I just wanted to make sure they had it because it's so good. It's a bourbon barrel aged triple. It's like a really light but weedy, really drinkable beer with an insanely high alcohol content.
Can I see it? Which one is it?
Is it this one here?
Yeah. It's like 11% or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's seeming like the way to go.
We get geeky,
The big Juno hype begins.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I gotta get the hype train going.
drink beers, and then say our goodbyes.
Well, it was nice having dinner with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
No parting wisdom for scale for me though. Okay, you go with a message for Elementary OS.
Party hard and be excellent to each other.
Okay.
All right.
Tomorrow is another early day. 6:40 a.m. in West Sacramento, and Waze tells me that if I get on the road by 7:05 a.m., I'm gonna have the best drive today, the best shot at least of not hitting traffic. So that's what we're doing. We're up, we're early, and I'm out here disconnecting power so we can hit the road. At this point, we've got this down. We're ready to go in minutes. Power is disconnected. We are independent operators once again. Our destination today is Pomona, which is our final destination. We'll be camping there until Sunday, and it's Wednesday right now. And it's all about scale once we get there. Not only is it our final drive day, which puts a certain kind of urgency on the day, but we're also on a bit of a timeline. These roads in California are rough. We're pushing hard today because we don't want to get stuck in LA traffic. But that's all if the roads don't rip Lady Jupes apart first. California has the worst roads. By about the 6th hour of driving today, I was starting to feel it. 130 miles out, and I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm feeling it right now on day 4. I'm feeling it. And in our haste, we realized a little too late that we would be crossing a summit. I didn't really plan fuel-wise to go over a summit. I wish the maps that we, like Google Maps and Waze and the nav, they don't really make it obvious that we're about to go over a summit. And so I would have fueled up again. We'll be fine. But I just wish the technology was better at helping me make those decisions.
Because between, like, now we're climbing in altitude pretty constantly and these horrible roads, this is a rough ride. And I wish I could have just at least fueled up before we got this far, but there's no indication about elevation climbs.
Lady Jupe starts climbing. 500 feet, 1,000 feet, the road shaking the rig apart. 1,500 feet, 1,800 feet.
2,000 feet, 2,200 feet.
We started passing broken down truck after broken down truck.
Boy, look at all this. Here's another broken down semi, and there's another broken down semi truck. Oh man, this road sucks.
And then, at 2,400 feet, the road suddenly smoothed out.
Oh my gosh.
I'm guessing we get up to 28.
That's a little better.
Too bad it didn't last that long.
Oh, good. Oh, glad that's back.
But at the peak of the summit, a brief moment of rest.
So we're in Lebec at a rest stop, sort of at the peak of the summit, I suppose, taking a break, walking the dog, walking ourselves, just kind of getting our crap back together, resetting, rebuilding energy, and then it's like 80 miles to LA, and we should be hitting it just at the beginning of traffic, hopefully not full swing traffic. That's the strategy, at least.
And thankfully, we timed it fairly well. We hit a bit of traffic, but within a couple of hours, we were almost there.
We have 0.8 miles. That's amazing.
8 blocks.
4 days of driving and we have 0.8 miles left.
Well, it's still less intense than Manhattan.
In 400 feet, arrive at 2200 North White Avenue on the right.
There it is. Just about 3 o'clock. We are here. Good job, co-pilot.
Wow. Just as I was about to be too worn out for this.
Yeah, I know, me too. I want to go collapse.
And we did. Well, just after setting up camp, ordering some pizza, and watching a bit of TV. We've pushed hard every single day this trip, and I've learned a lot about producing shows on the road. It's a big season of change for Jupiter Broadcasting, and it's all starting on this trip. Tomorrow is the start of Scale, which will slowly build into a big Linux party by the weekend. Good thing we're so well rested. Welcome into Tech Talk Today, episode 265, and we've got a few things to talk about today. Let's first thank Ting for sponsoring this episode, las.ting.com. Go there to save $25 off a device or get $25 in service credit for mobile that's pay for what you use. Your minutes, your messages, and your megabytes. Whatever you use, that's what Ting charges you. And there's so many free services these days that you can make VoIP calls and you won't even have to pay for minutes. I'm on the road right now and I'm using Ting's CDMA and GSM networks, depending where I'm at. And with their $6 a month line fee, it's so economical. I can have a MiFi that I use only when I'm traveling. I love it, and I love that there's no contract and no early termination fee. I've been a customer for a long time, and I'm not going anywhere. And you can get a device directly from Ting, or you can bring your own. Just start by going to las.ting.com. Get a $25 service credit and see how mobile should be done. las.ting.com. And thank you to Ting for sponsoring Tech Talk today. So how about that? We made it safe to Pomona, California, and I managed to do Coda Radio and Linux Unplugged from the road. I'm not sure if any of them were any good, but that's not because of the technical reasons. That's just other problems. And now, although we are a bit tired, I am really looking forward to getting up tomorrow and going in to Scale. But why don't we do a little bit of news today? This one is like a Picard face palmer one. Oculus screwed up badly today. An expired certificate appears to have soft-bricked all of the company's Rift VR headsets, and users are unable to fire up the software on the devices, and there has not yet been an announcement of when there will be a fix. It does appear that Oculus has responded and acknowledged that this is in fact a problem, but does not yet have a solution. I'm sure by the time I'm at the floor of Scale tomorrow, they'll have that all figured out. But it isn't actually a website cert. It's the Windows binary that they sign that gets checked. This is also something the Mac platform does, so in theory, it could affect Apple as well. but I think Microsoft's servers are down. This next story will definitely affect Apple, though. California, which is where I'm at right now, is introducing a right to repair bill that will require smartphone manufacturers to offer repair info and parts. So this is a new act that was actually introduced this afternoon. The Right to Repair Act, this is a direct quote, will provide consumers with the freedom to have their electronic products and appliances fixed by a repair shop or a service provider. Now, you can imagine that Apple's probably not a big fan of this. They've lobbied against this in the past in California and in Nebraska, as well as other states. And this is kind of interesting, just speaking about California, because they already have some laws on the books. In fact, that's one of the reasons why Apple's had to bend over backwards to make repairs possible in California already. If this change were to go into effect, usually what happens in the States is it's a domino effect. And then the story that all of the tech outlets are talking about, we got some Android P details, as well as the announcement that devices like the Nexus 5X and 6P would officially no longer be supported. Not a big surprise there, still a little hard to see it. Android P promises multi-camera APIs to better use dual cameras that are shipping in more and more phones, and genuine improvements to the Android runtime. In fact, up to 11% speed boost for certain apps, a tightened API policy, apparently that's a feature, and then the one I know you're all waiting for, iPhone X style notch support. Yeah. A quick note for those of you who live the Slack life today. The Slack team has made an announcement that they will be closing down the IRC and XMPP gateways that they have enabled in the past that allow you to interface with Slack using, say, your IRC client. It's a bit of a bummer. I'll have a link in the show notes where you can go to find out more. The quick URL is slack.com/account/gateways. And that's a real shame because I know several people, including Angela, who uses the IRC gateway. I'll have a link in the show notes for more details. Go to techtalk.today/265. That's what's on my radar for today. If there's a story you'd like to see, tweet me at ChrisLAS. If there's feedback, go to techtalk.today/contact and subscribe because this is the only place you're getting this show right now. As we're live at scale is in the feed. techtalk.today/subscribe for all of the options, or just plug techtalk.today/RSS into your favorite podcast catcher and get the feed directly. But that's it for me today. I'm off to scale, and if I don't get to see you in person, I hope you enjoy the adventure right here on Tech Talk Today.